This is actually the emergency exit plan from the Radisson, and I took this off the wall before I left that night. I look at this, and it's a great example of how chaotic that environment was, because there's parts of that hotel, like wings, that aren't even on the emergency exit plan. It was truly like chaos. This is when I was awarded the Distinguished Service Cross. This is actually got my name and everything on the back of it, which is pretty cool. The attack that happened at the Radisson Blu Hotel on November 20th, 2015, where it wasn't my mission, I just responded really, and I saved a lot of people's lives. They didn't kill another innocent person after I encountered them and trapped and barricaded them into a position. It didn't end right away, but I was able to really take all the things, the lessons that I had learned in my career up to that point, and then really put word to the protector mindset. I'm Kyle Morgan, and I recently retired after 20 plus years of the Army, predominantly in special operations here at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. This is how I get hurt. Staples and nails and targets. It's all right. Look at that. Leave a little bit of blood on there. I started Blue Bearing Solutions on terminal leave March of last year, just dabbling into this space of being a trainer. The big thing was Uvalde happened last year. I went and hugged my daughters and cried, because it was the first time that my youngest daughter, which is 8 now, actually, I saw fear, and it's something she asked me. I went to Eric and my wife right then and was like, I gotta go. And I drove all the way to San Antonio and put on what is the protector mindset. And I did it for anyone and everyone that would come out, and I did it for free. There isn't one template you can pick up and put down onto an active threat. The situation's always going to be different, and you don't know when, where. You can't say, well, this is the tactic, this is the policy. It's not that. It's a mindset. It is a protector mindset.
Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the stage Master Sergeant Kyle Morgan.
So I'm Kyle Morgan, and just first and foremost, it's a blessing and an honor to be in front of all of you today. The greatest Americans that this country has, all in one place, whether you're a veteran of our U.S. military or law enforcement. But our country needs each and every one of you serving in the capacities that you serve and continuing to serve. So this is a part of my new mission post-retirement to take the gifts that I've been shown and given from God, now that I can see that, now that I've stepped into the light, and that light is really bright. So, metaphorically and physically, spiritually. So, this is a story I want to share, because I feel called to do this, not speaking to you, but through me, a message from our Heavenly Father. It's the only reason I'm still here, having been redeemed, and not thinking that was even possible. This is just a glimpse of that story, that journey, the testimony. There can't be a testimony without a test. So this isn't an opportunity for me to share war stories, and if I share something, it's to set the conditions for what humans are capable of, for good and for evil. But what we can do, we need the right people to stand up against that. But the toll that can have on you and your family. So this is just a little bit of my testimony, and thank you, Union County Sheriff's Office, for letting us be a part of this. Lee Park Church, thank you for putting this on. as you guys have for 5 years now. I think outside of being a professional trainer now, focused on active shooter response, the reason I keep doing it is not just to protect innocence, not just to sharpen the edges of others. As iron sharpens iron, one man sharpens another. It's to protect innocence, youth. They are our legacy. It doesn't matter what I did, if I don't pour into them, protect them, nurture them, develop them, we are nothing without them. They are our legacy. You'll see some slides here in a second, but that's not my legacy. My wife is the most important relationship that I've been given and blessed with. And I have to honor her and my children everywhere I go. So having been transformed as a part of this, I'm going to share some of the ugly parts of that, what led me to that redemption. But thank you for letting me be here. So everyone understands what a bearing is, right? There's a few different meanings to it. There's wheel bearings, right? So to make the wheels turn efficiently. There's military bearing, how you carry yourself. There's bearing the weight of the world, bearing it all. There is a bearing, compass bearing, how to navigate from one point to another, orienteering. So the company is that I started on terminal leave is called Blue Bearing. And the story that I'm about to share is to connect the real message of why it is called Blue Bearing in the mission that I'm on, now that I've stepped into the light. So what got me here today in front of you is that story, right? And this is how I lived my life for a majority of it. If you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. So I just kept navigating from one place to another, and because I could perform at the highest levels, that became who I was. That became my identity. That became everything to me. But that was a really hard way to live life, without knowing where I was going, where I was intended to go. And not until I actually got myself out of the way and stopped trying to control everything, did I actually see the path that I'm supposed to be on and the bearing I've been shown from God. So a little bit about my military history. I retired in July of 2002. I signed up 2 months after 9/11. I was a senior in high school in Florida, Central Florida. And everyone in here probably can remember the 9/11 when it happened, and even being a senior in high school, I felt exposed. I felt vulnerable, and I wanted to do something. I didn't know what to do, but it only takes one person, a positive male and female role model in our youth's lives to be able to make that course correction. And that is the reason I'm in front of you, because I didn't have that at home. I lacked that at home. And when my grades got so low, I got kicked off the football team, I had no team. And I didn't want to be at home. So all I did was act out, not go to school, and I wasn't going to graduate. But a teacher that served in the Ranger Regiment in the 90s saw something in me. And he set me straight. So after 9/11, I looked at him and said, what do I do? And the rest is what I'm about to discuss. Having served in the 82nd, I'm extremely honored to have served there. The majority of my career was at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, or Fort Liberty now. I was an infantryman, and then I served in the 7th Special Forces Group as an 18 Echo, which is a Special Forces communication sergeant on a dive team when they were still here in North Carolina. And then a majority of my career was spent inside of the Special Missions Unit here at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, that focuses in hostage rescue. So here's some of my notable service and awards. That actually is me. think it was 2019, 2019. It was for a DA photo for E9 promotion stuff board. But yeah, that is me. Here's some qualifications and certifications I have. The big thing with all of these schools is what I learned in those experiences. And then not just what I learned, how I'm able to translate that as a trainer, training our nation's law enforcement. And I've been blessed to have met my brother that I never knew I had, Blake Cook, he served in the 82nd Airborne, and he also was a Fayetteville patrol officer, and very, very quickly onto the SWAT in Gaming Day. So he's a massive part of this company, and he is my brother in Christ, but he's a blessing from God, and God put him in my life to stay on this path with this parent. Right? So thank you. But translating those experiences in combat and operationally, like how do I translate that experience to a job that I never did? I was never law enforcement, so I used to have to always feel like I had to say, hey, I'm not here to teach you how to do your job. It'd be criminal for me to do that, or to say how you got to do that, because I wasn't. But there are parts where I know I can help increase your survivability and your lethality. God forbid you have to use lethal force, but our nation's law enforcement are not here to take people's lives. But they have to be prepared to. Blessed are the peacemakers. And I choose peace. I choose to be peaceful, but I'm capable of violence. And there's a massive difference between harmlessness, being harmless, and peaceful. So we need the right men and women serving in the military, but in our law enforcement as well. Because throughout all the things that I experienced, the thing that really bothers me the most about my whole career is I was ignorant to the fact that what I teach now, ignorance isn't bliss, all these things. And that's true. But taking ownership of your environments, I was just blessed that Erica, my wife, was able to maintain our household and serve as the protector as I was gone a majority of my kids' lives, combating terrorism abroad. And our nation's law enforcement, we're doing that as well. So that's where I'm focusing on our country. With all the things that I have, the gifts that I've been given, to share those. So I did.